Good evening, everybody. So, as you say that we have published test grade, right? You see your test 1 grade. Okay. So you have published our test 1 grade. Okay, so yeah, we can discuss that test 1. Let me see. One second. 1 test 1 and oops. Okay, so this is the test 1 on A. So this question, right? So this question, oh, I'm sorry. Do you see my screen? No,
The
not
one with
screen.
reference, the one with the reference parameter.
Okay, reference parameter, like this one, right? Like this one, right? This one is the reference parameter.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you see your test grade, in the grade scope, I have attached a program. Okay, so if you go to my Replit account, so I see that when I graded, I added so even you see that if you go here, let me do 0. So here, maybe these 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, no problem. I can go to the concept again. Okay, so let me go to the concept again. It has 2 concepts. One is reference parameter, another is prefix and postfix notation of incremental or decremental operator. Okay, the reference parameter, as we discussed in one of the lectures. So here, so ref keyword, Java does not have ref keyword. Okay, so in order to understand this, you need to understand 2 things. How a method is called by 2 ways. A method is called by 2 ways. One way is called call by reference, another is called call by value. So the normal call of a function is called call by value. Traditional call of a function, by default, it is called call by value. And there is another kind of call, function call or method call, that is called call by reference. Okay, call by reference is allowed in certain languages only, not in all languages. Like C++, C#, these languages allow call by reference. Okay, and all languages allow call by value. So Java does not allow call by reference, but C++ and C# allow call by reference. So as I gave you a silly example of call by reference. The call by reference, in the call by reference way, remember this way, your guest can change a host property. Normally, when we invite a guest at our home, right, we do not allow our guest to change our property. We do not allow, right? We do not like this, right? But if the guest is a special guest, we may allow that, right? If a guest is going to be our family member, okay, then we give value or honor to our guest opinion. So that is the concept of call by reference. So in the call by reference, the call method here, there are two methods. One is main method. We know that our program starts with the main method, right? So within main method, it calls here line number 16 the apply it method. So at this point, so let us go with the main method. It has x equal to 19 and y equal to 29, right? And at this point, it z is a g equal to apply it x. Okay, it is calling by x, apply it method is calling apply it method by x and ref y. Okay, that is why here is a reference variable, not a traditional variable. Okay, so then what this y is allowed, if it is allowed to change this value, like this guest. What is the guest host over here? Host is main method, right? It is allowed to change this value. Okay, why I'm saying this value? Because the second parameter, second one is the y, right? It is allowed to change the y value because y is a ref. So let us understand how that change is being happened. So here in this applied method, you see that this needs to be consistent. This needs to be consistent with. If there is a noise coming from your side, keep yourself muted. Okay, thank you. Here you see this call must be consistent with this. So it has int a, no matter what, these are local variable, right? Parameters are local variable, okay? The name doesn't matter. Okay, the type matters. So what does it here? So int a, so we are getting a equal to whatever a value I am getting is decreasing by 17. So whatever a value we are giving, this value will be a value. So a is 19, right? So at this point, what is making here? 19 minus 2. A equal to a minus 17, right? So it is making 19 minus 17. So it is not minus 2. So that is, it is equivalent to a equal to a minus 17. So what it is getting here? So a is passing 19. So 19 minus 17, a is passing 2. A is 2. But remember that while I'm printing, I put a plus plus, right? So it will print the previous value of a, the postfix operation. So it will print 2, not 3. So this is the 2 here. Okay, now the magic reference variable is here.
Professor, your mic is muted.
We can't hear you. I mean,
what is happening?
well, he's dead. Rip. All right. Oh, he's back. What a thunk.
I'm confused.
Did he leave the room or something?
No, it says he's muted for some reason. I have
Now
no
can you
idea.
hear me?
Oh, he's alive. Cool.
We can hear you now.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Loud and
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do
Yes,
not
sir.
do not mute
Yep,
me,
let's
okay?
get back to
Because
it.
some are getting muted. Okay, so here, what is doing here? My B is a reference variable, okay? So that it has power to
Hey,
change.
Professor, I can't see your screen.
You cannot see my screen? Okay. You see my screen now?
No.
I see that it's sharing. Let me see my. Oh, I'm sorry. So you see that I am logged in as guest, so I need to log in as a guest.
And he's gone again. Wow.
Do you see my screen now?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because it's for mole.
I don't.
Not seeing a thing. Heard your voice, but
Wait,
not
I'm
seeing
gonna
a thing.
reload the page, see what happens.
Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry for
I
that.
don't.
Okay, now what we are discussing here. So A is normal variable here. So A will be called with call by value, but here B is a reference variable here. Okay, so B will be called as reference. So what the B has power, superpower, that it can change the host. Where is the host? What is host here? Main is the host, right? And applied is the guest. So these B can change the Y value over here. How the change is happening? So you say over here, you say B equal to B plus 21, right? So here my B is 29, and then it is making 29 plus 21. It's equal to
I left and rejoined and I still can't see screen.
I still can't see your screen.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I still can't see it.
Yeah, same.
Oh, there
Might
we
be
go.
a good idea to call
There
UIT.
you go.
I
Now
see.
we can see it.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
Yeah.
okay, so it will make 29 plus 21 is 30 plus 50, right? Okay. So then at this point I got B equal to 50, but I am printing minus B. That means I am decreasing B by 1, right? So then I'm printing 49, not 50, because of negative minus B, the prefix operator of prefix version of decremental operator, right? So now we understand why it is 2 and 49 over here. Okay, that's good. Now what it is returning over here is returning A plus B. So what is A over here? A is 2. Okay, and then 49. Okay, and then we have to returning. What is returning over here? So now let us come over here. So okay, so so this, you see that when we call apply it method, so this line will be executed first. The print2 will be executed first, right? Okay, so now after this, let us come step by step here. So what is over here? It is say x plus plus. Okay, so what is x over here? 19, right? So x plus plus, that means it will increase x by 1 over right here. So it will display the increased value. So it is printing 20. And then it says minus y. Remember that originally it was y over here 29, right? But at this point, since y is a reference variable, it changed the y to 49.
Professor Mokhtar, for the sake of clarification, could you go ahead and define the reference parameter for me one more time?
I'm going. So here the reference parameter, what it does, it can change the host value. That is the only one thing. Okay, let me tell you again the story that I told you the story. The reference parameter is a kind of guest that can change its host property. Usually we do not allow or like that our guest will come to our house and he will change our property. Whatever he likes, if he likes a window, to make a window in our wall, do you like? No. But if our guest is a special guest, is a valuable guest, for instance, going to be a family member, then we may consider, or we consider his or her opinion, right? So reference parameter is that kind of guest that has superpower to change host property. So what is a host over here? So main method is the host, and apply it is the guest, right? This is my guest method, and this is my host method. Okay, now so here, so you see that this variable x is referring to a when you are calling this method, right? So this method we are calling this method here, but this method is declared over here. So this a is associated with x, and this b is associated with y. So let me bring my device. Give me one more second. So here this a is associated with this x, okay, and b is associated with y. Okay, so initially, so a was 19. Okay, so what this method, apply it method is doing, it is decreasing whatever it's getting by 17. So 19 minus, so at this point a is getting 19 minus 17 equal to 2. So a was 2, a equal to 2. And then in this statement I said a plus plus, right? That means it will decrease a by 1, but that will not be applied here. That will be applied in the next statement or next iteration, right? So still it is printing 2. So this 2 is printing over here. This 2 is printing over here. And then for b, so b is increased by 21. So this is the magic over here. So b over here is b equal to 2. So it is getting, whatever b is getting, 29 plus 21 equal to 60, right? But sorry, maybe so here b equal to 29, this 29 is coming here, plus 21, it says 21, so then 50, but it is decreasing by 1 before it prints. So this is why minus 1. That means 49 is, this is 49. Here B is 21, right? Here it's 21. Oh, here, over here, you see this one? Are you talking about this one, this minus 1? Minus B, what is that? Whatever B it gets, it will decrease by 1. Whatever B it gets, B gets is 50, right? This is by 1. So 50 minus 1 will get 49. You see that 49 is here. I'm sorry, it became complicated. So this is why we get partial credit. For each of this, anyone corrected, we get partial credit. Okay, now this one. So everyone understand then why we get 2 and 49. So some people, what they did, it is so applying it method is called first. So this output should come first. Some people give the output of this line first. And we clearly mentioned that the output print line output 2, right? Over here, print line 2. And we asked them to give print line 2 output over here. So now understand the second one. So whenever this line is done, it will go to the second line, right? In the second line, what it will do, it will plus x. So x is a normal variable. X is easy, right? So x is 19, then plus 1 is 20. Understand? Okay, but the y is different over here. So whatever I got y over here. So what was my y here? 49, right? So after that, at this point, so y is this is the value of y. B value will go to y. So this is actually the thing that how reference variable is used. It will get the y value, or that means b value, second value in this method, this second value. So it says y, right? So minus y, that whatever y it was, y was 49. It will decrease by 1, right? So then it will get it 48. And 20 over here. Okay. And let us see that. What was the return value of this method? We said a plus b, right? What is my a value? 2, right? And what is my b value?
49.
49, right? So then 2 plus 49 is 49, 50, 51. And then it is getting 53. Why it is 53? Let me see what is my mistake. G plus plus. So returning G, A will be 2. Oh, you see that A was increased. After that, after printing 2, A became 3. After printing 2, it printed 2, but A was, after printing A, it was 3, right? It became 3. This 3 plus this 49. So 49 plus 3 is 52. So this method, it is returning 52. It is returning 52. It is returning 52. It is returning 52. It is returning here 52. So A, after printing A is old value, it is incrementing A. by 1. So then A is getting 2 plus 1, 3, right? So these 3, A equal to 3 and B equal to 49. So it is returning 3 plus 49 equal to 52. And here it is incrementing these 1 by 1. So it is printing 53. Yeah, it is a trick. It is a trick. So but we get 20 points for this one, and we get partial credit. I'm sorry, partial point for all correct value. Even whoever did a single part correct, we get the value. We get a point. Yeah, one thing that in our FYE CSE resource base, and if you go to old test exam and 1322 exam, maybe test 1 or test 2, we did have this.
Professor, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
So I know you said that you are giving partial credit for the reference question, but considering the fact that a large amount of people in the class didn't get the question, like I've said 80% before, and considering the fact that a large amount of people in the class actually didn't do too well on the test because they missed that question, would it be possible to maybe, I don't know, drop it from the test?
Okay. So you can send an email, and you can send an email in the first year experience review page, so feedback page. Okay, feedback page. You can send that request. That is not my call alone. Okay, it is our team call. So you can give us a feedback, a request about that, and then if our team considers that, but it is not my single call. Okay, my personal call. Okay, one thing that we had a discussion about that, but we decided that we in a final, in our final grading, we will do a carving. Considering this, okay, we will do a carving. For instance, in carve. For instance, in previous semesters, in some test, okay, what was happening? That, for instance, people who got 88, they got A. 88 plus, they got A. Typically, it needs to be 90, right? We get 2 points. That means 2 points is huge point. So even it is that 2 points is more than 20 points over here. And the final 2 points over here, these 2 point odds more than 20 points over here. Okay, so now I think if you request for that privilege right now in test 1, and I'm not sure that if you lose that privilege in the final. If I were a student like you, I would accept this.
I'm sorry. Let me just get this straight. You're saying that if we were to ask for a question to be dropped from the test that most of the class missed, that we could lose the privilege to get to have our final exam replace our test grades, despite the fact that, let me repeat again, most of the class missed that question.
No, I did not say your lowest test grade. Your final exam will replace your lowest test grade, obviously. That is their policy. But it is not a policy, but sometimes we consider that we carve. Okay, we give 2 grace points last time. Not in all tests. Sometimes, whenever we saw there is this hard question. Okay, so then we gave 2 points. In the last test, we gave 2 points. In the last summer, so we give 2 points carving. That means whoever got 88 got A, and whoever got 78 got B. 78 was last, got B, 78. Okay, so that means here is 2 points, right? This 2 point is more worthy than dropping one question. It will not be dropped. In my experience, I see that they will never drop, but they can carve. Maybe they can carve for 5-6 points.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you can send your request. Okay, that is not my call. If they consider, then I will see. Okay, but one thing is that you remember that I gave you totally this. We gave this, and I discussed with specifically like this kind of question. Whatever in test, whatever in test, I discussed specifically this type of question in our class. The one thing that I happened honestly while I graded this question, some students they wrote that they are taking Java lab. We told that the lecture class does not have any relation with your lab class. Whatever lab language you are taking, that is not concerned. In this course, you are learning object-oriented programming in both 2 languages, in Java and C#. And when I covered this, I categorically mentioned that everybody needs to know this. Do you remember that? I specifically mentioned that everybody needs to know this. I specifically told that there will be a test question like this. But still, I saw that some students they said I did not take. I'm taking Java lab. No, that was not a valid excuse. I got hard time to teach this, right? If it is optional, then I would skip this. Yeah, I told you that is the tricky thing. That is the reference thing you need to learn. What is called reference? This is why I gave you a story, right? Before I discuss this, I told you the story. Yes, I know that this is tricky. In one thing in object-oriented programming, abstraction is tricky thing. Okay, abstraction, declaring abstract keyword is tricky, and in reference parameter system in Java, skip this because in C++, call by reference is implemented by pointer in C++. So handling with pointer is a nightmare for many programmer and then many people. So this is why Java in modern languages they skipped pointer. Java does not have pointer. This is why Java does not have reference parameter, call by reference. Java only allows call by value. All languages allow call by value, right? But specific languages, C#, like C++, maybe there are some other languages, those allow call by reference. Yes. How often you will use? I don't know it. At this point, you don't know it. When that you will be programming in Java or C# in your job. No, there is no guarantee in your job. I have experience working in companies. So sometimes they will, according to their project. Okay, sometimes they will work in. We need to work in Ruby. I started in a company. Then I said, okay. I don't know. No, I don't know Ruby. They said, no, you are smart enough, and we are giving you 15 days to learn Ruby. Okay, come to office and spend all time to learn Ruby or a new language. Then we shouldn't have any excuse that. As long as we know the concept of one programming language, I think 15 days is enough to start with another language to practice. Okay. So, like whenever our goal, actually for my personal goal, I know there is a gap in academia, between academia and industry. In academia, we just teach concepts. But in industry, they will throw you in an ocean. Okay, and you have to swim in current. Have you tried current? Okay. But in academia, they will tell you, take you to the swimming pool. Swimming in a swimming pool is easier, right? Than swimming in a river or an ocean. Yes.
I think people are specifically upset about this question because it's designed to trick us instead of
Yeah, it got tricky. Yeah, I know that. I think, okay, so next time we can consider that. So we got a lesson on that. Okay, it is not my personal goal to fail you. Okay, so I wrote this question and I'm sorry if it hurt you. So actually that it gets tricky by like this, giving this incremental and decremental along with prefix and reference, right? Maybe if I gave you, said that if I give you only reference. For instance, if I would say only A or B or only X, Y, and Z. Okay, there is no plus plus minus minus. Let us try with this, if you understand this. Okay.
Honestly, I think if the question is graded on reference parameter alone, a lot more people would have gotten it because that seems to be the most confusing part of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree that it become more complicated. So by using reference parameter and prefix and postfix together, right? Okay. So now let us understand. If we understand this, so what will happen? Let me tell you. So here, what will happen here? A. What will be printing here? A. Okay, who can tell me what will be printed here? So at this point, so A will be A plus 21, right? What is A value over here? 11 plus 21, right? So that is A will be here 21 plus 11, 21 plus.
Sorry, Professor, just one more question. Would you consider that code with the increments put in, the pre and post increments, would you consider that code production worthy?
What is that in terms of what? So your appeal is to give you points, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, many people they did correct. Yeah. No, actually one thing that I told you that this course is heavily practice oriented. Okay. I told you that please send some email. The more people who will send email, it will be easy for me to convince, right, our team. So there's still we have time. If still we have time, if our team consider when we publish the test, right? If our team consider to give some carving or grace point, that's fine. We'll get it. Send the email, okay? No, do not send one email. Send individual email. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm trying to review what like call by reference does. So let us see if we understand this. Okay, so what A will be here 21 plus 11 equal to 32, right? What B will be here 25 minus 17, 8, right? Okay, so I did not refresh this code. Okay, it is still going to be. So it's 32 and then 8. And then after this, what will be here about here? X will be, so what will be printing over here? Okay, so you see this is another program. It is a reference with A. Okay, I'm sorry. So I want to get it back. I want to get it back. Okay. So we give same questions in some section. I give reference to A, another section I give reference to B. So the student cannot copy result from one section to another section. But the question was same, still identical. Okay, so okay, I know. So please review this. Question is answer is over here, and then send some email. We will discuss. Okay. What else? Let us see our schedule, please. Okay. So this week, okay, event-driven and GUI programming. Okay, this week we will discuss GUI means graphical user interface programming. Okay, one thing is that so far the programs we discussed. So let's go to our slides. So far the programs we discussed. There's a new slide for GUI programming. So get the version 2. So far, the program we discussed are called like what is that called? This program are we got result or output in a black screen, right? Console window, right? All of the programs so far we discussed console window. But in modern life, we use the programs that are graphical, that are GUI user interface. Okay, graphical user interface. That the program, this program I'm using, that it has graphical user interface. Okay, so some of you may think that okay, so is it possible to write GUI programming with the background knowledge that so far we have learned? Actually, so far what we have learned, remember that we have covered until module 3, right? So until module 3, we have learned object-oriented programming principle, and that's it. So whatever we learn, class, object, encapsulation, data hiding, through encapsulation, making private fields, right? Inheritance, abstract class, and interface. Those are the object-oriented programming principles. Okay, so that's it. You will in any more course, there is no more course that will teach you this object-oriented programming concept. And if you are good in those, then you should be fine in other programming. So all other programmings are like that here in this course, and all subsequent course will be depending on this object-oriented programming principles. So far we program with like console programming that gives our output in console. Even if we write our program in Eclipse or NetBeans or IntelliJ, we got output with console. But it is possible, and most of our modern programming languages, they use GUI, right? Use graphical user interface. So GUI programming just is the extension of object-oriented programming with some built-in libraries. Okay, built-in libraries means so far we learned that through inheritance, right? We can extend or reuse some existing classes and methods, right? So then in modern languages, especially Python, if you know Python, that there are many built-in libraries. are available. Just you import the library and use the methods with the format, right? Even Java and C# has some built-in libraries. For instance, the substring method. It has the string class. String class has all methods, substring method and other methods. String comparison methods, toString method. That are built in, and we are using those methods. Okay, so that means it is a good thing that if we have some existing classes or libraries, a library is a combination of some classes. It's a collection of some classes and methods, right? A class contains some fields, data fields, and some methods, right? And a library contains some classes. Okay. So it is a good thing if we have an existing library and if we can reuse that, our programming line will be easier. So in modern programming languages, like we use like even any web-based application. So even if you go to knsa.edu, in all websites, you see that this website, it has two parts. One is called foreground or user interface, and another is backend. Front end, there is the user interface that is developed with HTML. So if you go to like view sources, what is the view sources? Or inspect or something. So view sources, paves view sources. So you see that there are some codes written in HTML, some are JavaScript, okay, and some are PHP. So these are PHP and some other languages, okay, CSS, and in the background there is another language, maybe Java or C++ or C# or Python. But actually those background language is used to connect this application with a database. Like we know that a building has some framework, right? Some concrete, like a building, physical structure. All application or software have also structure. Those structures are built with like the heavy languages like Java and then C#. But Java and C# also have GUI programming feature. So you may guess that, okay, so like this, it is possible to develop like this kind of application, calculator application using Java or C#. But it does not require you to write all the code. It needs to write a code that will make you a form, right? Then like make you a button, then text boxes, radio boxes, right? That takes a long time. But someone, maybe the program developer, they already did for you, developed it. Now is our task is that to import and use this. So in order to do this, we need to know some basic concepts about GUI programming. So these, once you learn the object-oriented programming concept, so learning this concept is not a big deal. Even right in your lab, you will see that by practicing in 1 week, you will be able to develop a simple like program, simple calculator program like this that will allow you to add 2 integer numbers or to some numbers and do the addition, division, subtraction. Okay. So in this chapter we will learn this. The one thing is that the for graphical user interface, one thing is that it is different. It is more likely with coordinate geometry, but it is different one in sense that in the coordinate geometry, we put our origin is here, right? Or 0, 0, right? And we go x this way and y this way. This is the found point. We get any point x, y. That means this part is x and this part is y. This is how we get xy position, right? In normal geometry coordinates, but it is different in GUI interface. This is the 0, 0 point. This is our 0, 0 point. And it has weight and height. So weight, it goes only right. Okay, only it goes to right. So it is this way. So this way 0 to 699, that means 700 maximum. So you can 700, I'm sorry, 700, and then it goes down, not up. It goes only down for, this is weight and this is height. This is height, y coordinates is here, and this is x. We say x coordinate. So this is why it's going 0 to 399, that means 400. So it has, so 700 pixels, 700 like cells like these, 700 cells like this way, and there are 400 cells like this way. There are 400 cells like this. So each of the tiny part, how many tiny parts it has? 700 times 400. That means equal to 28,000, right? These many, we said this tiny cells it has. Each of these cell is called a pixel. Each of the tiny cell is called a pixel. The smallest display unit. Okay, each pixel is developed in the monitor as a LED light. Whenever a pixel is turned off, then we see that one as black. And it is turned on, then we see that is white. This is how the monitors display something, okay? So now we understand this concept of the position of items in GUI for all devices, all electronic devices. You start with the left upper corner, 0, 0. It is completely opposite to the normal geometry. Okay. Now if we understand this, then there are some built-in methods. There are some built-in methods and built-in classes. You see that color codes, like 50 years ago, people knew only a few codes, few colors. Okay, now there are millions of colors with the combination of RGB, red, green, and blue. Okay, R, these two codes is hexadecimal R, G, and B. With this combination, hexadecimal number can go 2-digit hexadecimal number. It goes, if any digit can go from 0 to F. Okay, so this with this combination we can get hundreds or thousands or millions of colors, right? So this is the combination, and then if we go some examples like Java, it has a built-in libraries, GUI libraries. It is called, Java has multiple built GUI programming tools. One of the call is called JavaFX. JavaFX is old though, okay? And then it has applet. And so if we do Google search, Java GUI tools. So you see that JavaFX, Java Swing, Java SWT, okay? These are the tools that are used in Java, in Java. Okay, so JavaFX is the old one. Sometime I worked in a company, they used Java Swing. And each of these have some advantages or disadvantages over each other. So some company that will be going, that they will be using JavaFX. Another company they will be using Swing. Another company they will be. So, but I think that if you get idea about one of these things that you may use, you may learn other things quickly. Okay, so in this, in your lab, you will learn actually Java Swing, JavaFX, and in C# it is called form. Okay, So this is not a big deal. So you see that it has some built-in methods and then classes. Then we will be using these classes and methods in programming. So for instance, you see that this is the one. This is the main method, okay, and this is another method. So what is that method? It is start method. Is overriding the start method. Okay. So how do we create an application in Java Apex? Say this is my class name, and we extend the application class. So when we extend the application class, this is an abstract class, and it has a method called start method, and then we override the start method as needed. So now at this point we know how to override this, right? So for instance, the start method, it takes, okay, so string as a primary stage. So when is in order to start this method, we just call launch. And then we'll say that start method. In the start method, what we are doing over here, so we are using some other predefined methods. So these are the methods, these are as needed as you will use. Okay, so according to your need, you will use some methods. So it is not, there is no straightforward rule that you will use this method first, but there are some rules that you need to use canvas definitely for first, and then within canvas that will take a screen like this, okay, and then it will say canvas, this is the canvas equal to okay, so there's a mistake over here. Canvas 1, it should be canvas 1 equal to new canvas like this. So this canvas will take okay, we'll make a canvas, and then these are the things. So it is not required that you will need to use only this or not. Okay, it's needed as needed as you use. Okay, so this is in Java, and this is similarly in C#. It has some built-in methods. In C#, in order to make those things, actually same thing that you will do this. So it has one paint method, and then you will do this. Okay, so you see that these are some built-in methods. We just need to use this built method. So there are many methods. You will be used to how to use this. If you want to work, if you need to work, you will be able to know this. How do you learn? So once you have object-oriented basic principles, so whatever we discussed so far in our class, okay, if you know this, then you will pass an interview. You will crack an interview, right? Okay, so you have companies of experience, right? So then, so what kind of interview questions they ask? And they will not ask this type of questions. I know that they will not ask this type of question. Okay.
Professor?
Yes.
When I was downloading the thing, I'm sorry, even though you passed it, is it okay if I ask about it? The Java JDK thing for GUI? The Java FX?
Yeah, I will go through this, okay? If there are a few more schemes.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so that C# has this, and these are the like built-in methods in Java and C#. Okay, there are many, right? You don't need to memorize this. Nothing you don't need to memorize, okay? So how do we interact? Okay, so this is there. So someone just or another professor, he created this slide. Okay, so these are the likes. Okay, one thing is that you see. So this screen. So we have this, and we have another. I'm going there. Okay, give me a second. We have another GUI programming. So this is C#. Okay, this is the tutorial for C#. So C# people, please download this tutorial and follow this tutorial. Then you will be able to write a GUI program. Okay. And for Java, part 1. This one, part 2. So if you go to part 2, so then you see GUI is an event-driven program. What is an event-driven program? Okay, let us do all graphical programming or also the modern programming language. They are called event-driven programming. For instance, okay, you see that when I hover my mouse over here, right? It shows Google Chrome. You see that? Do you see? When I hover, take my mouse here, it shows here Google Chrome, right? And if I move over here, it shows Anaconda Navigator. I use it for Python programming. When I move it here, it says IntelliJ, right? When I move it here, it says Android. And when I move it here, it says idle for Java. So this is called an event-driven program. So even I do not need to click here. Even before I click, it does something, right? Even if I do right click, it does something. And even if I do left click, it does something else. If I do double click, it does something else, right? So these are the events. Okay, so all modern programming languages are event-driven. That means this thing does multiple things. If I do right click, it will do something. If I do left click, it will do something else. And if I do double click, it may do something else. So one thing, I can do multiple things with a single object. Right? That is the concept of event-driven programming. So all modern programming languages are event-driven programming. So we need to learn how to handle events. Okay, the two things we need to learn about here. You see, there will be a test. There was a test question in almost in all languages. One thing. Okay, so the previous. This is the old slide I do have, and this is the old slide, and that was I showed the first one is the new one. So I like you please go through all two slides, okay, to see at least be familiar with these things, okay. One thing is that I want to discuss the event handling. Okay, so an event. So you understand what is an event? An event is something, okay, that we do. For instance, mouse click and event. We know that there are multiple mouse clicks, right? Left click, right click, double click. At least these three, right? We know that, right? So on mouse click, it has multiple events. So now we need to handle these events. So how do we handle it? We may handle it by using single click or double click or right click. Okay, so I will show you. See that this is Java FX program. So writing a few about 100 lines of code, you will be able to write this kind of application. So, but how we use this? We inherit, we use the existing library. That makes our life easy. Otherwise, if we would write our fresh programs for this, it would be thousands of lines to write a program like this. But that can be done here with a few lines of code. Okay, that is possible by doing graphical interface program. Okay, so in Java, one thing that we use is Java FX, and in C# we uses form. So one thing is called event handler. You see that this is an event handler. For instance, you said set one action, so it takes, this is a method, and button is an object. So problem is that it does not have complete code over here, but I will show you complete code soon. Okay, so it has, you see that it is a method. It takes this all highlighted code over here as a parameter, as an argument. You see that this enter the selected area is being passed as an argument to the set one click method. This is the all the way, semicolon is the all the way end. That means it is the end of this statement, and this is also is a single statement. Especially if you do like app development, app design, then you will see a lot of use of this kind of code. Okay, so because it has some anonymous codes, it has some anonymous code. You see that it has a method, and this method is taking this code, and this method is so that it means what is happening. One method is being passed to another method, that method is being passed to another method, and this is why it is going to be complicated. Okay, so in your lab, so in our theory, okay, we will have very simple question. We will not be asked to write any code for this event handling, but in your lab you will need to do some GUI programming. One thing that is that I have some YouTube channel. So if you go to my playlist in my YouTube channel and search for Java FX. So Java FX. Okay. So Java FX and GUI programming. Okay. So this is the introduction. How to in Eclipse you can download a plugin to code with Java FX. So if you watch this video, you will learn how to install the plugin. Okay, and then if you watch this video and follow this video, then you will learn how to create an application with Java FX that will do something like this. So when you click here, it should click me. Okay, so something this, it has complete codes. It has complete code. I may provide the complete code for it. Maybe in my GitHub account it has the complete code. Okay, and this one, especially this is for your lab. So if you go this one, this video, then at the end of this video you will be able to write a calculator sum methods. This, it will allow you to add two numbers, and if you click on this plus button, it will show you sum of this. And if you understand this how to sum, right, then you can multiply. You can create another button that will multiply. That's some simple sense. Then you can do subtract, you can do division. But the division, there is a tricky thing. If the second argument is not 0, you have to consider that. Okay, so this one will be your lab. So in order to be prepared in Java FX, so please do this watch this video. Okay, and for the Java FX, I will for the what is that called, Windows form. I will share with another program with you. Okay. Okay, so now who has some questions? So you had some question about how to use Java FX, right? Someone has some questions, right? A few minutes ago. Yeah, please watch these videos, these 3 videos, then you will be prepared for them. Okay. Okay. Has anyone any question? Okay, thank you so much, and you have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Thank you, Professor. You have a good evening.
Adios.
You too. All right, peace.